EA Sports. It's in the game. It's in the game.
Did you start?
I did.
Hey!
Hey! Oh, wow.
Benjamin.
Hey, you thought I was going?
It's going pretty good.
Yeah?
Yep, just hanging out.
Hanging out in the grand old state of Nebraska, which is not the Middle East.
No, it's
Some
not.
crazy stuff going on over there right now. We're, I'd say I can't think of anyone more qualified to talk about like Middle Eastern politics than us.
We've established at least a couple times that neither you or I are qualified to talk about anything.
Are you serious? Anything?
There's like 2 or 3 things that we're qualified to talk about.
What?
Books we've read.
Oh. So what's the other one?
I don't know.
That's to be discovered.
There. I'm trying to think of something that we both have we've both done and can just say we've
Sammy.
tying our shoes.
Sammy.
Oh,
let's talk about Sammy.
Yeah.
Oh man, he moved in today.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh no, I saw his picture.
Yeah. So I want to hang out with him soon.
He said he was excited to see you.
Yes. So because he lived not in Lincoln, so it was hard for us
Where
to
does he live?
Gretna.
Okay. Yeah. Do you know who he's moving? Did you ask who he's moving in?
I
with?
think it's his same roommates.
Same roommates.
Like his brother and
Okay.
2 other people, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Have you met them?
No, I talked to his brother because when maybe a couple months ago we were FaceTiming.
Oh yeah.
And then while Sammy was playing Earthbound.
Nice.
And it was really quiet the whole time. He was just like playing Earthbound while I was on there. It was a Snapchat video.
Oh, okay.
And then his brother came in, and then I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" He's like, "It's going good." And I was like, "You like Death Grips?" And he's like, "Yeah."
He said that?
Yeah, and he said he loves Death Grips.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, because doesn't one of his brothers do be like beats or something?
Yeah,
music?
something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, he's kind of like a rapper Sammy. Like if Sammy had a rapper persona, it'd be his brother.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
His siblings are each like an alter ego
of Sammy.
They're like a character
That's so
split
cool.
off into.
What's Sammy's character? Oh, the jock. He really likes sports.
He is kind of the jock.
He is kind of a jock mentality. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
That is so strange that mentality has been shoved into the body of a I don't know. I feel like he wouldn't physically survive a hit from from somebody in football, which I think is one of his favorite sports.
It's like a paradox. Sure. It is his favorite sport.
Yeah, and it is a paradox.
Man, wow. And I'm imagining, just like
there'd be nothing.
It'd be. Oh my gosh! Like I'd be cradling him.
Yeah,
he's on the football field, and then he's like, "What, Sammy? What's your last words?" And he's like, "What would his last words be?" He'd be like, "Can I play a Switch?"
Yeah, he would ask for the Switch,
and it'd be like, he'd be like dying on my hands and my arms, and he'd be like,
"He want a few more minutes playing Mario Kart."
A few more minutes playing Mario Kart on your Switch, and I'm like,
I wonder what his favorite game on the Switch is.
That would Broforce maybe.
Oh,
that would be the ultimate test of my character traits and personality.
Yeah.
Like,
if you
do I let him play?
Yeah, knowing that it's gonna get covered in blood and
feces.
Yeah, organ material.
Organ material. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I did say, I was like, Sammy, you're on Switch detention. Mm-hmm. You know.
When was did you lift detention from last time you saw
him?
Is he still on?
He's
Switch
still on
then?
Switch detention.
Oof.
Yeah, I'm serious about that.
Yeah, he committed some sins.
Only one person is on my Switch detention list, and it's like Guantanamo Bay.
And the Switch that you owned when you put him on detention isn't even yours anymore.
No, it's Will's, and he's still.
He's not touching that thing. Mm-mm. How's Will enjoying it? Has he played it recently?
He just dominated. He basically, what's it called? Mastered Mario Golf, right?
Really?
So here's how Will plays video games. He picks up a video game, utterly masters it until he has no use for it anymore, and then just dumps it aside.
We should put him and Caleb. There must be, in the Venn diagram of Caleb and Will, there has to be a crossover as far as video games are concerned, because that is a matchup I would like to see, if what you say is true.
Wait, would you say that's an apt comparison to Caleb?
I think so.
Because,
do you agree?
Let's quantify it. What are some games that Caleb has mastered? Destiny? Okay.
Mastered?
I'm talking mastered. Do you know what Will scored on Mario Golf in the first course? Negative 26. Okay, that's either a hole. That's like a birdie.
I know nothing about golf.
Okay, that's like an eagle just about every hole. That's getting like 3 under par almost every hole.
Here's a complication we've run into is that Caleb plays games that you cannot technically master. Like Destiny, Halo.
I'd say you can master.
You can't master that.
Like
shooters, you cannot master.
Really? Explain yourself.
You can't. It's a skill that it can't be capped.
Can't be capped.
Yeah, so, it can't.
Okay.
Aim and just accuracy.
Just
speed,
aim and shoot.
Knowledge of the game. You can't. You can only keep getting better at it, or round off at plateau. Well, like speedrunners, how they can do everything perfect. Mm-hmm. That's mastering. That's a cap.
Exactly.
You can't do that in a shooter.
Really?
Well, think about it. Okay. If he's always so, let's think about mastering golf. Mm-hmm. Mastering golf.
Yeah.
Will hits an eagle, right? That's a hole in one, right?
Oh, hole in one. Eagle's 2 under par or 3 under par. Okay. I believe.
So it'd be like
that hole in one, then eagle. Then
whatever the best is.
Yes.
Every single time. Mm-hmm. That's mastering.
Yeah.
What would mastering look like in a shooter?
Not dying. I don't know. Getting. A lot
what
of
if all
kills.
your people? What if all the other people are like disconnected? Like, what is it? Is it a numerical score that matters, or is it like if you take 2 people who have the same scores, and you compare their gameplay, they're gonna look different.
Yeah, like you can be like, okay, this person is good at this game, at this shooter, and this person's not good at this shooter.
Right.
You can say that, right?
I think, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. As you could say that about someone who plays the Mario Golf, but there's an obvious, you can see if someone's mastered it.
Yeah.
Because accuracy has no,
because it's the same as long as you get the guy.
Yeah, I'm thinking of it's ever changing. Like I feel like having a task to complete, like all right, getting the golf ball in the hole, and then getting it first try.
Mm-hmm. Well, like
that's a completion. A kill.
Yeah.
In like a video game, that doesn't. There's no specific tasks in.
Well, like they build up to get the most, and then that's a winner.
Yeah, but would a winner of a match be a master?
No. I guess what it comes down to is that every game has different criteria to master it.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. I guess I would say that being being a master in a shooter is just being really good at it.
It's just being really quick. Like being able to, like if you're saying, because we're kind of being general here. Let's pick a specific shooter.
Okay. Destiny.
Yeah. I know nothing about that.
Well, it's pretty standard.
You just I'm trying to think back to like when Caleb's like saying like, yeah, I did this, I accomplished this, so and so.
Here's what I think it is. In a human versus human scenario, mm-hmm. I don't think you can master a human versus human scenario.
Because then it'd be like
human versus human.
It'd be like that one Melee video. Remember that? It was like Melee 21XX or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's always. I feel like mastering is looking at something and knowing exactly what you're gonna do and knowing exactly what the end result's gonna be.
Oh.
In a human versus human interaction, you don't know what's gonna happen because the other person's a human.
It's unpredictable.
Not a variable. It's unpredictable.
Yeah, and
that's what I'm getting at. That's what I've been trying to dilute it down to.
My mind's open now. Okay.
Not wait. Dilute it down to. Constant. What's the opposite of dilution? Boil it down. That's what it is.
Wait.
Dang it. Boil it down.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. That is what I've been trying to boil it down to.
So.
I think it's impossible for you to know
the course
what
is going to be the
another
same
human...
just about every time.
Yes. I believe it.
There are small variables.
Okay.
Like wind speed.
But if someone who's mastered that game, even the wind's predictable.
That's true.
You look at the
Summoning Salt.
12 miles per hour.
Did you watch that?
No.
It was like Summoning Salt. He does speedrunning documentaries on like histories and stuff, and he did one on the history of Wii Sports Resort Golf.
Okay,
and so they had to make calculations, like they'd see the wind speed.
Of course, yeah, of course.
And they do it right away. Yeah.
Yeah, all that can be calculated out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what I've been trying to get at is that human versus human, you can't calculate.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I would say that the only exception to that I've seen so far is on those old like Black Ops or those old Modern Warfare maps where you know where they spawn, so you can snipe
what's
one
that called?
place, snipe another place, and kill them every single time. That I would say is the only exception to this rule where you.
But is that mastery,
yes.
or is that
that's
that
mastering.
just
That's mastering.
exploitation? Like knowing
I would
how
argue
it works
that mastering
is just knowing how something works.
Yes, I would agree that yes, I think that would be considered both exploitation and mastering. And I think mastering speed running and mastering Mario Golf, we can come back to that example again. I would argue that is exploitation.
Yeah.
Just
really,
it's just
getting
knowing.
good at any
it's
game
just
is
knowing.
just
It's just removing all variables. If you know everything, that's how everything's going to play out.
There's this certain game making principle that is probably present in board games. I guarantee it's present in making board games. Is where I forget what it's called, but it's like if you include something that is broken that you see, it might not be like on the surface, but something that you know is there. The players will instantly eventually find it and exploit that one thing to win the game as many times as possible. Even if there's other. Like, you have all these cool other ones, but if it's not as direct and as good as this other one, then they're always going to choose the least resistance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like the meta, basically.
Okay. Yeah.
So let's try to think of some examples. Oh, like Bayonetta in Smash Bros. For Wii U. You know? Yeah. It's like, no matter how many
I agree that, you'll always have a group of people that gravitate towards something that is exploitable. You know, if it's exploitable, it's going to be exploitable.
If you want to win.
That's the rule. The rule of thumb.
Yeah. Hey, you can't say that.
Why not?
Rule of thumb.
Why not?
No, I'm just messing with you. Well, there is a reason, but it's I don't know if I want to get into it.
Oh. Is it something you believe?
No.
Oh, okay.
If I did, that make me a
Rule
terrible
of thumb?
person.
Does it have a meaning?
Yeah, it does. It was back in the olden days. The rule of thumb was that if to beat your wife with a stick, it had to be smaller than your thumb.
To not leave.
Like around. Rule of thumb. Yeah.
Whoa.
So the stick couldn't be thicker around more than your thumb.
Oh, that was like a law?
Yeah.
Oh.
Rule of thumb.
I thought it was like a tip. Like, these
no.
don't leave bruises. Or whatever it is.
like dad, like not dads, but like dudes gathered around. He's like, "Yo, dude,
hey, check this out.
Check this out, man."
Yeah.
Dude, like the velocity, wind speed. You're like totally, dude. You're wasting so much with a thicker than your thumb, dude. Waste so much.
Oh, that's
speed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess I'll remember that.
Yeah. So it wasn't real, like the movement to say stop rule of thumb.
Oh,
but someone wrote an article or something like that, and you're like,
that happens.
Man.
Oh. We're gonna have nothing left pretty
Dude, think about this.
Oh.
You know, how much time do we spend engaged with entertainment? So much time. What did people do before that? Like, legit, what did people do before?
I know.
YouTube and...
I should go back to my flip phone, honestly.
I was thinking that exact same thing, man.
I don't know. I think I'd benefit.
I think I would too. Like, I don't want to do it.
No, I don't know if I could.
Even though I know it's like, it's probably would be better for me.
I literally don't know if I could. I think.
Really?
Yeah. Well, not because of like myself. Not myself, but wouldn't I need so many other things for my phone?
Yeah.
Like dual notification. I guess I can do that.
Or is that just like a barrier you're putting in front of yourself to be like, I don't want to change?
No.
Okay.
I haven't thought that hard about it. That's something that comes up in like if someone's, I was about to say addicted to something, but people are addicted to their phones.
Yeah.
For sure. No, I'm not. I know what you're saying. I'm not thinking about it that hard.
Okay.
I'm saying like,
I've definitely thought about it once. Like, really hard, like, a couple times.
Really?
But I've come to the conclusion that I don't think I could do it. Maybe.
I think the most harmful things are are the most useless things are social media.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Because
it's so pointless.
Like here, I'll tell you what the point is to sell stuff, and to make you feel inferior about yourself. Like
It's
literally,
so useless.
how is that good for you to be like, you open up your Facebook or Instagram, or whatever, you see like people with a lot of money or whatever, or just a lot of status, right? How's that good for you? I mean, look at yourself and you're like, what have I got?
I don't know.
You know, but those are
the only argument I have against that.
Yes, I need devil's advocate or
devil or whatever,
or just a genuine argument.
Yeah, genuine argument is like, I wouldn't say that I'm following anyone. The only people that I follow are like maybe people that we grew up with and a few other people. Like,
yeah, it's funny you say that.
Like, I'm not looking at anyone that...
Because I'm not either, but like the advertisements though.
Advertisements, and it's honestly, it's less of, I can't remember the things that I've looked at. It's just the fact that it's so, I think over a long period of time for myself, it's just like, one, it becomes an impulse. Yeah. So if there's any downtime, then it immediately, if I told you that I've had to move like my apps around, because sometimes I'll be like, it just, all right, I'll grab my phone, fingerprint goes to the back, opens up, I can swipe once, and then it's like muscle memory to know what the app is. And so that like impulse, that muscle memory for the app, and then just looking through and literally just taking in an image, taking an image, taking an image, taking an image, like that time kill, I don't think it's just, it goes on. I don't know if it's harmful. I just think it doesn't. It's not beneficial.
Harmful. It's just wasteful.
It's
not harmful. It's just kind of like, it's.
And if it is just a time kill, like, then I guess could I be doing anything else? Like, I've forgotten.
That 30 seconds.
I've forgotten.
Yeah. That's just the thing, because it's not substantial. You're not, and that's not saying that you need to have substantial things all the time.
Yeah.
Because then everything would be unsubstantial. Yeah. You know, if everything's substantial.
Yeah.
Or just like, if everything's blue, then nothing's red or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get
what am I trying to say? It's like, if everything's one thing.
Right. I get what you're saying.
What's the classic argument for that?
Well, all right, here's the thing is that you don't have to, you can have, the argument is that
if everyone
you can have,
is like the best at something,
right, then you're on the even playing field.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
So I think the argument that we're kind of on is the fact that, or the idea is that you don't have to, it's okay not to be doing anything. I think that it's a convenient filler for maybe downtime that we would already have before phones and stuff. Like, all right, just sitting. Okay, then easiest thing is to go to Instagram. I'm wondering if we're filling up downtime that we had, like, are we filling up normal amounts of downtime that we would have had before smartphones, or are we creating downtime? Like, are we creating more like unnecessary downtime by looking at, like, if I hadn't picked up my phone or whatever, would I have
it adds
went
up.
over to do, it adds up. There's a lot of, I think that's probably I mean, it's definitely true. That's definitely true.
What did we do like in that downtime? Like, we've always had this downtime. We had it then, we have it now, right?
Right.
Before then, or now, we fill it with looking at our phones some of the time.
Yeah.
You know? Before, without the phones, what did we do with that downtime? Were we just alone with our thoughts, you know?
I don't know, probably, I don't know, I remember as a kid growing up complaining about being bored, and I have never said, that's one thing I've thought, or one thing that's true. I have, in the last, like, 4 years, I've never, ever thought, I have never been bored.
Really?
Never been bored.
I was bored yesterday.
Always have something to do.
Huh.
Yeah, you did. Ben called me and was like,
yeah,
I'm bored.
I did call you and say I'm bored. Yeah. That's so funny.
I've never been bored. There's always something to either do or think about. Oh, I haven't. Just when you were calling me today, when you were walking in, I thought to myself, yesterday, I think, what happened? Someone called me. Mm-hmm. Oh no, Julia was there. Maybe she called my phone, but I can't remember what for. We were listening to my voicemail, and I heard myself. I didn't know what was happening, but she like turned on speaker or something, and I heard my voicemail message. I haven't listened back to that. I haven't heard it since I recorded it.
I haven't heard mine since I recorded it.
Yours is like...
Mine's quick. Mine's fast.
Yours? Mine's long.
Yeah, I know.
Mine's like a
I apologize
monologue.
that I was not able to answer your call. Or wait, what is it?
Call me right now. Call me right now.
It's like a few seconds silence. I apologize that I was unable to answer your call. Because I made a song about it.
Yeah. I'm sure you did.
Or I sampled your phone message.
Okay. Yeah, I don't, man. I can't remember. What do we do to get to... So, all right. So I see you're calling me. What happens now? Do I...
You just gotta wait for it.
I just gotta wait?
Oh, wait. Here, I can do it. Or maybe, what if you end?
Look at the volume. I won't end. Is the volume okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's full.
Okay.
It's full force. Volume's full force.
Okay.
I apologize that I was not able to answer your call. If you would leave your name and maybe some other information about the call, I will get back to you as soon as I can. Sorry for any inconvenience. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Yeah, so I hadn't heard that till I...
I think that was 17 seconds.
Yeah. So...
I want to, before I listen to mine again, I want to give it like another year or so. So
really?
It's more of a relic.
I don't think I've ever gotten your voicemail. Wait, yeah, I have. I got a yes.
You did?
No, because I called you back after you called me and you didn't answer.
Yeah.
I heard yours. Yours is really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
pretty quick.
Hey, thanks, bye.
Bye. Yeah, yeah, it is.
Hey, sorry I missed your call. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Yeah.
Okay, but Ethan, we've been talking about all this time we spend on our phones.
Yeah.
Well, it's scary when in the real world because we're not, it's like a safe place, right?
Yeah.
What else can we do in the world when we
Look
don't...
around. I thought about... that was a good segue. I didn't catch on to
Dang it. We can read books, Ethan. Instead of being on our phones, we can read books.
Yeah, we can. We've been doing better with that this summer.
We have.
That was something we set up.
Yeah.
And so we can acknowledge. This is a time for acknowledgement. It is the second half of our summer bookcast, whatever you want to
call it.
Over the summer, or in the beginning of the summer, we kind of, at least I did, and Ben started reading too. We set our self up a goal. We started up on Goodreads, and then about halfway, about a month ago, we recorded an episode, Bookcast, part 1. Not sure when it's gonna go up or what the title is gonna be, but we reviewed all of the books that we had read over the course of late May and then June, and now we are reconvening, and it is August 16th.
The last week of summer.
We are going back to school very soon. I'm moving in on the 19th.
I'm going to school on the 23rd.
Yep. Oh, same with me. We're starting up on the 23rd. But we are coming back together to talk about the books that we've read over the last month, which is the list is a little bit smaller.
I got 3 books I wanted, because In My Struggle by Karl Ove Knausgaard, I already talked about that one, right? Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It's about the guy who cries a lot.
Yeah. And that was like the life. He had
smokes a lot of cigarettes.
8 books of his life or something.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you talked about that.
I saw the second volume at Barnes & Noble the other week. And it was like 2 times as thick as the first one.
Oh my god.
I know. It's called A Man in Love, I believe. So I think it's about him meeting his first wife.
Oh. His first wife. That's a guy who doesn't kill any time on his phone. He's got
Karl Ove Knausgaard.
A lot to write down. All right. Yep, I have 3 as well. What?
Well, I have 3.5.
3.5. Okay, I do.
I guess I got this
I
one.
remember. Yep. So Yeah, that's where we are. Ben, do you want to kick it off, or do you?
Yeah, I can kick this off.
Oh, because we've got let's do our first ones, and then we can sort of collaborate on our book because we have a crossover in between our lists.
Yes, we do. Oh, we should do that. Yeah.
Second.
So I'll do one.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
So Ethan, sometimes when you've been reading a bunch of books about violence and with naughty words and
that's kind of your go-to.
Yeah, it's kind of my go-to, right?
That's kind of your go-to.
And
you found a niche. You found a niche.
Like of books
gritty,
right?
Dark, kind of slimy.
Like I'd like to say it's like books that your parents wouldn't want you to read, but my parents don't like. They're like, I'm like, Mom, I'm reading this book. This guy says bad. She's like, okay, I don't care. Like I don't have fun, you know. And I'm like, I'm like trying to rebel, but there's nothing to rebel against.
Oh,
so
it's too bad. Not a bad problem to have.
Yeah, that's true. No, I want to rebel, but nothing to rebel against. So anyway, that's kind of like my literary vein.
Yeah, it is. It's true.
So I decided to go 100% against that
and
just read something that was totally not that. And it kind of just dropped in my lap, right? Because I was sitting on the couch. My mom was watching TV on the other chair, right? And she's like, or I told her I just finished My Struggle, book 1 by Karl Ove Knausgaard, right? I want to say who the author is because if I don't, then they could think it's the Hitler one.
Oh, right.
Mein Kampf, My Struggle.
Yep.
Okay, so, my mom was like, you finished your book? And I was like, yeah. She goes, well, I got a book for you to read. I was like, really? What is it? She's like,
this whole time I've been trying to think of what you were talking about, but now I remember.
The Notebook.
Oh, The Notebook.
Yeah, so I read The Notebook in 2 days, it looks like. And it made me realize that stories don't need really big stakes to be compelling. You know, it's a quiet little story with a quiet little climax in it too. You know, it was kind of all leading up to this big confrontation between the main girl and her actual husband.
Oh,
you know,
I know nothing about the plot of.
All right, should I? Oh, I think
Notebook.
I should explain it.
Yeah, go because I haven't seen the movie.
Neither have I.
And I haven't looked. I haven't heard anything about the plot other than the only thing I've heard of is like the crying bits.
Crying bits.
For some reason, that's I hear about The Notebook.
Oh,
is equal.
Oh, because
leads
you'll
to
cry.
Crying.
Oh, I know why.
Okay.
Yeah. So, man, it was some war happened in the book.
Oh.
I don't know if it was World War I or World War II.
A real one?
Yeah, a real one. Okay. Okay, so I'll just start from the beginning. Basically, it's like the 30s or something, I think. And this old country boy, I forgot what his name was already, but the main guy, Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, I'm not good with names.
Neither am I. So Ryan Gosling, he meets this chick who's only there for the summer, and they're like, hey, they like get together, and then they go on a bunch of dates and stuff, and they have a good summer. It's like the most memorable summer of all time, right?
Yeah. Was that pleasant to read? What's the kind of the vibe of the book? Did you enjoy reading it? Like those moments, that summer that they enjoyed, did you also enjoy it?
Not really, because it was kind of just this ethereal kind of, that summer. You know, they went into detail a little bit about it.
Yeah, I got you.
But it was kind of just like they were under the stars and they went dancing.
Yeah, it's kind of floaty.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this stuff happened. It was a good summer.
Yeah.
Right? And then she has to move away.
Okay.
And they don't see each other for like 15 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Ooh.
So then he goes to war. She's an artist.
Need I say more?
Need I say
Isn't that
more?
something you say like one thing and then the other thing?
Yeah.
It's like then history. What's the thing? History. History.
She says one thing, he says another, or something like that.
Oh no.
What is it?
I just can't think of what it is. There's like it's like a trope or a.
About history?
Just something. He was he was a bad boy.
He was a bad boy.
Yeah, something like that.
She was from the bad side of town, or something
Yeah,
like that, or like
yeah.
She was the drama queen. He was the football star.
Yeah, and then something about them like meeting or
until one fateful night, their stars collided.
Collide, yeah, something like that.
And then like I don't know, Creed is playing.
Creed Rock.
No, I haven't seen him. I saw him at the graduation. I mean, at the last graduation for my brother's graduation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was like one of the first to, because we were the first in line to get in.
Oh, you probably pointed him out to me.
Yeah, I did. I think I did.
Yeah, it means I saw him too.
You know Creed the band?
Yeah.
With arms wide open.
Oh yeah, I do.
But okay, so anyway, he goes to war.
Yeah.
She's an artist. It was weird. Like he gets back and it was really kind of like oddly specifically mentioned that the owner of he goes to work at like a scrapyard.
Okay.
And
after the war.
After the war, and it's really weird. No, he works there before the war. And then it's really weird what I'm building up to is like he talks about like how Jewish his boss is. Like he really makes a point to let you know that he's Jewish.
Okay.
And it's the weirdest thing.
Does it tie into something?
Not really. I think the book has some Christian overtones or undertones to it, but it's not like hit you in the face with it.
All right.
But I don't know. It's kind of weird. But he's a good guy. So he goes off to war.
Like he could be Jesus. He could be the second.
No, not that kind. But he does do a good thing though. So he goes off to war. The Jewish guy dies.
No.
He gives.
Does he come back?
No. No, he gives his estate to him.
Oh, all right.
He gives like his estate to him, and then with that money, he uses it to rebuild an old farmhouse down where the summer was, cool. And that they make a news article about it, and that's how she finds out.
Whoa. Okay.
And then she travels down to see him, and he's like, and they're like, "Whoa, I haven't seen you in 15 years, right?" Mm-hmm. And then he never remarried, or not remarried. He never had another like really serious relationship.
And what'd she do?
She's engaged.
Ooh, that's a bad place to be in.
Yeah. So then
it's very convenient.
Immediately when they get like the tension in the text. No. Like he's respectful, of course. But there's, if they're holding back.
Okay.
Their true emotions for like, they do that for a couple days. They just visit each other, right? And then they progress their relationship.
Without the husband knowing?
Yes, without the husband knowing.
Whoa,
because
that's risky.
Because
that's risky.
She said she told her husband.
That's adultery.
I know, that's true. That's sinner. So she told her husband that she was doing something. I forget, it was some excuse. And then so she spends the night there, and they drink brandy or something. I don't know. And then the
ghost of the Jewish man comes back to chastise them.
Oh my gosh! Yep. The next day, he
finds out.
Oh, no, they're like, your husband's in town.
Oh.
He wants to talk to you, right? And that's kind of where the book ends, really. Like that part. That was kind of disappointing. It was like that's what I was expecting, because I said earlier the small climax. That's what I thought it was leading up to, and then it kind of just fizzled out. They just had a respectful conversation, basically, is what happened. It's like, what was his name? Like Yvonne or John something was the husband's name? Something like that. It was weird. They just had a respectful conversation, like, listen, I love... Noah was the name of the main guy.
Oh, come on.
I love Noah. And then her husband was like, okay.
What?
Yeah. And then Noah was like... Because it's written through Noah's perspective.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So he's like, oh, man, that she must have had some cojones on her to be able to have that talk. I'm really proud of her. And then that's it.
That is so weird.
Yeah.
That is really weird.
The narrative skips forward 50 years, and they're in a retirement home. She has dementia. And he's trying to get her to love her every day, but she doesn't know him, who he is.
Is that the crying part?
No.
It sounds like I would cry.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
Cry in that movie.
That whole part.
Yeah.
But then they spend another day, and then she kind of remembers him throughout the day, like kind of realizes who he is. At the end of the day, she realizes who he is. No, she's like about to realize who he is, and then she and he does that like every day.
I thought she died.
Oh yeah, and then later she does die, and then he like, I don't know. It was kind of like angels come down or something, or like they get naked.
That is really weird. That is so weird.
He like sneaks down the hallway to her room, and then they get naked, and then angels come down or something.
Every book like that should be edited by someone who's written a novel like Hamon Rai or any of the other gritty novels.
You want to know why it's like that? Is because romance, unlike any other genre, besides like cowboy western, are manufactured. They have formulas. They have recipes.
Yeah.
Like, literally, think about it.
Of course. I mean, that's why they're able... You look at the Harlequin novels. I mean, it's the same... I'm assuming... I've never read one. But I assume that it's the same thing.
So they just got a formula that works?
Yeah.
And it's... I mean, yeah, it's still art.
There's not a whole lot of... The thing is, there's not a whole lot of spin you can put on that story. Like love, there's not a whole lot of spin.
Like you can only they fall out of love, they get back together or not.
There's only so many tragedies.
Yeah, that you can pull off. Like there's not a, because in the end of every romance, there's only two endings. They get together or they don't.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
And it's that kind of. I don't. Is it that simple? Do you think?
No, but I think we're getting there. We're like a romance book only has one purpose, and it's to follow their romance. So it's like you're looking at it through a pretty narrow... I mean, I'm sure there's really good exceptions. I can't think of any right now. Like maybe the...
Serotonin,
like, any
Norwegian
like really
Wood. I mean,
good,
that's like a really good,
any good
literary
romance novel. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're looking... I think those ones that you're talking about being manufactured, you're looking at the romance through like a lens or colored glasses that takes away all the complexity and all the, all the really maybe deeper stuff and kind of just boils it down to problems. Describes a lot about how they're feeling about each other.
Yeah, and a lot of clothes descriptions too.
It's almost like, you know what I'm talking about? I've talked about it last time where an author, it annoys me when an author tells you directly when something is happening, or they fill you in on something that...
Exposition?
How did I explain it last time? I told you when Elephant Run, how they were like, how he was like, oh, this is a person who, or the reader's never been to wherever that book took place. So then I'm gonna name off a bunch of animals that they don't know. Just to show, just kind of force on them how foreign this is.
Okay.
Or when Midnight... You
don't like that.
I do not like that.
Okay.
When the Midnight Library, where the woman was getting to go back and choose and redo or erase regrets from her life or stuff, you would always feel... It would just... Basically, just like hit you really hard with filling you in on information really bluntly and really obviously, and not making it seem like a
seamless.
Genuine it's not, you're not figuring it out, you're not figuring out information from interactions between the characters and their environment. The characters are literally telling you the information. Like, it's speaking, instead of you watching something and being able to discern information, they're speaking at you.
I'll break that down for you, because that's literally like it's a spectrum, a literary spectrum. Because on one end you have the interacting with environment, right? You can only do so much at one time with that. On the other end of the spectrum, it's not as deep, as in seamless in the narrative, but you can get a lot more stuff out.
It's quicker.
Yes.
Yeah. So what I was trying to say with that is that the those romances, those romance novels, those are almost hitting you with romance. It's
tropes,
it's
or
telling you how in love they are and stuff.
Oh.
Instead of what I'm assuming, like Norwegian Wood, which is still on my list, it's showing you and stuff, and it's giving you maybe little pieces of information from people instead of being so blunt. Do you agree?
Norwegian Wood is a little blunt.
Is it as blunt as The Notebook?
No, because
would you agree that?
And here's why. It's because the characters themselves were more fleshed out.
Oh, that's the big thing, is that the characters themselves are fleshed out.
Because Haruki Murakami, I think he does a great job of making unique characters.
Okay.
Especially his main characters. They're very, especially with 1284 that I'm reading right now. Tengo and Aomeme. I think that's how you pronounce it, Aomeme.
I like those names a lot.
Yeah, they feel like really fleshed out people. You know, like I could put them, I take what I know about their character, and you're asking me a question, just any random question, what do you think the character would do in that scenario? And I'll answer with what Tengo would do.
What would Tengo do if he was presented the option between a peach or apple pie?
So I think he's kind of like an everyman that doesn't want to get in people's issues type stuff. He's kind of like solitary, but open to the idea of interaction and stuff like that, right? He's very classic when it comes to his taste.
Classic.
You know? And then...
To his taste.
To his taste.
Oh!
Yeah. So I'm going to say apple.
Apple. All right. Interesting. All right. The other one. Would she enjoy karaoke?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. Would they rather attend a gathering on the beach, like a party, or hiking?
So mountains or beaches?
Mountains or beaches. Hiking being maybe a little more physically active and solitary. The beach being kind of relaxed but social.
I think Aomeme would like the mountains and Tengo would like the beach, because Aomeme is really fit and she's into like fitness and stuff. And Tengo, he just kind of wants to vibe.
Okay, I can see even from these examples that they're more fleshed out.
So, okay, The Notebook.
Oh yeah.
To finish that up.
Yeah, final thoughts.
Final thoughts on The Notebook. It let me... I learned a very valuable lesson when it comes to my own writing, is that the stakes just have to be present. They don't have to be in your face. You know, it doesn't have to be Armageddon, where it's like, dude, if is that Armageddon with the thing that's going to hit the Earth? It's like, if we don't blow it up, then everyone's going to die. It doesn't have to, every story doesn't have to be the verge of the world ending, you know?
So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You found out that, it's a little bit lighter.
It helps you define what exactly a climax is, or a conflict, I should say, is.
Okay.
So I think it was good. I'm glad I read it. Don't think I'll read any other Nicholas Sparks books, but yeah, it was all right.
What'd you give it?
I think 4 stars. I'd give it 3 now, though.
Really?
Yeah. Because I just got off that rush of like reading it in 2 days. I'm like, that's so good.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you got for your first book?
So my first book that I read, which was a while ago, I believe I started it when I was in the great state of Kansas. It is called, so it's written by David Sedaris, and it's called When You Were Engulfed in Flames. So it's sort of one of his, I believe that this is kind of his thing. It's sort of essays.
Yes.
From his
childhood
life.
And growing up.
Yes.
I read another one of his, I think I did.
There's a bunch listed on the back.
Is one of them Barrel Fever or Naked, maybe?
Barrel Fever and Naked are both books. Holiday on Ice, Me Talk Pretty One Day, and Dresser Family and Corduroy and Denim.
I'm trying to find because I know exactly what the cover... Oh, yep, I read Naked.
Okay.
That was really funny. That's the one I told you about where he has really bad OCD.
Oh,
you have to count his steps back home, and you have to lick like certain lawn ornaments and stuff. And, it was so funny.
So there, Yeah, really. I mean, all right. It's been a long time since. This is the only downside of. One of the downsides of reviewing something.
You can go on the Wikipedia or something. Or of the book.
I just know that it's. Oh, like the contents.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was. It's well written. It's fun. Like it's.
Yeah.
It's good. It's pretty fun. There were a few. There were a few essays in here that made me really like laugh. Just the way
That's
he
good.
said. Yeah. So it was pretty good. I actually did. Laugh out loud.
You lulled.
I lulled at certain points. But what? The thing is, not many of them are. There are some that are not memorable. Which is one of the. Some of them that blend in, yeah. Where I kind of start it, and it doesn't really
grip you,
hook me, and then once I get to the end, I kind of just moved on.
Coca-Cola.
This is a good segue into our ad read, actually.
Oh yeah. All right. Hey guys, have you ever been thirsty?
Yeah. Working off that point.
You have been?
Yeah, I have.
Well, drink Coca-Cola and make you not thirsty. Dun-dun-dun.
With just 150 calories, and with flavors like orange, vanilla, original, and cherry. Yeah. Coca-Cola will. We promise that
make
Coca-Cola
you live
will refresh you.
20 years longer.
Yep, at least.
This has been scientifically proven.
As long as you don't do drugs.
Mm-hmm. So just say no, Nancy Reagan.
Fall asleep at the wheel. Get into conflict with somebody with a gun.
Coca-Cola.
Go to war.
Go to war for Coca-Cola.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you.
I drink Coca-Cola every time I read a book.
I drink Coca-Cola every time I go to work.
Is that true?
No. I mean,
What's
yes.
your favorite pop? I should know this.
Say it.
No, root beer.
Yeah, that's it.
Nice.
That's what I was going to say.
What's mine? What's my favorite pop?
Ooh,
I don't know.
You don't really like pop that. Well, like, from what I've seen, you drink it a little bit, but not a lot.
All right, maybe you'll know this one. Do I like Pepsi or Coke? Ooh, I think you would actually know. I think you could know this. It's possible.
Okay, I'm gonna say Pepsi, but that's because I feel like in my mind I've seen you drinking it a lot. But I feel like that's a false memory though.
It's a false memory. Coke. I actually do prefer Coke over Pepsi.
Yeah, I do too.
I thought you would know that because maybe I brought a Coke in, and then you like made a joke about where your dad made a joke about like, oh, we don't have that. We don't have that in here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, not too many are memorable. That maybe, but
do you remember any memorable ones? Like what's the most memorable?
No.
You don't?
No, I can't. There was one where.
Is there one on the back that it says on the back that the synopsis of it?
No. There's one where he buys pants with a padded butt. And so he's like admiring himself for the whole chapter, and then he gives it away or something. And that's what I can remember. There's a good one where he's like sitting in his apartment and he's talking about the fact that tourists always like will walk by because he lives in Paris, I think.
Oh, really?
Or in. Yeah, I thought he lived in Paris. And so tourists are always walking underneath his like
his
apartment.
window, yeah.
Yeah, and they always argue about like the language or someone wanting to like get directions or like, oh, you embarrassed me. But he's talking about how many like breakups I think he's witnessed.
Whoa.
I believe. What's that one called? Keeping Up? Oh, no. My Street in Paris.
My Street in Paris.
So it's called Keeping Up. Oh, yeah. So this is a phrase that, or it's a little excerpt that describes the story better than I just did. Okay. It's short, this street, no more or less attractive than anything else in the area. Yet vacationing Americans are drawn here, compelled for some reason to stand under or beneath my office window and scream at one another. For some reason, the arguments are about language. And so...
David Sedaris.
Yeah.
He has a master class, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was good. It was well written. It was pretty smart. And I laughed. But unfortunately,
Out
right
loud.
now, I can't
Recall.
which is both a blessing and a curse for books, because the more you forget, the more things are new when you reread it.
Oh,
it's just
yeah,
like
that's true.
reading it
That's one
again.
way to look at it.
Yeah. So that's what I say. Oh, and then I rated it, I believe. I can guess. Yeah, 3 stars. So
3 stars. Okay.
that's under my. What's my? I forgot my. I haven't looked at that rating. Oh, pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
Pretty good. That was my.
It's
that's
like
my 3 stars.
Fantano has the 6 and above I enjoyed, 5 and below I didn't enjoy. Yeah. So it's kind of like a 3. 3 is a 6. Well, it literally is, because 3 out of 5 is 6 out of 10.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We cracked the code.
We did.
We created a parallel. Or would it be a perpendicular? Would it be where our shows crossed, or would it be a moment where our shows ran alongside one another? I think it's perpendicular.
You know what's funny is Tom Segura.
Oh my gosh.
He is one of the funniest
He's a
people.
genius.
He
He's
is
a legitimate genius.
He he's literally gonna be like one of the people that people look back on in comedy now. Like,
I think so. But
when people are
there's so
talking about
many
the history
comics.
of comedy, I know, but like he stands apart, I think.
I don't know.
Let's name some that stand apart. Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, that's the thing. Dave Chappelle, Joe Rogan, not necessarily for his comedy,
but the podcast. So he's going to be remembered for having the podcast.
Yep.
Not because his comedy is like take it or leave it for me.
I've listened to it.
He yells too much, I think.
Yeah. Anyways, Dave Chappelle's a for sure.
Yeah, he's basically like the comedy messiah.
Yeah.
I think.
Yep.
What do you think about Bill Burr?
Same vein as Tom Segura and Burt Kreischer. The thing is, if you listen to Tom Segura and Burt Kreischer talk about other comics, like ones that they talk about, they'll mention them a lot, like other comics that they think are above them, or as like what we're talking about now, like above themselves, where they're like, oh, these are the best comics of all time.
Yep.
I do not recognize a single name that they mention except for Chappelle.
Can you remember
No.
any of? No.
So, like that, there are so many comics
George Carlin
above them that we don't know, and so
But he's
many
dead,
comics
though.
on their level that we don't know. So that's why I think that undoubtedly Tom Segura is my favorite. Oh, bless me.
Blessed.
Like, he's one of my favorite for sure, but I don't know if he's going to stand apart for me, but it's hard to tell if he's going to stand apart for other people or be looked back on. Like, I have no reference for that.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle, undoubtedly, everyone knows everyone knows Dave Chappelle.
It's kind of like, on one hand you'd say we never know who's going to be remembered because the future isn't set in stone.
Right.
But on the other hand, you've got people like Dave Chappelle where you're like, okay, he's going to be remembered.
Sometimes you know.
Okay.
Sometimes you know. And Dave
like
Chappelle,
Tom Brady
we know.
kissing his son.
Yeah, we know that's going to be remembered.
Yeah.
For better or for worse.
For better or for worse.
Let's go now to our second book, and this one is not going to be an alternation. We are going to be sharing this experience together.
Yes.
Because, well,
All
Ben,
right.
I'll let you. This is your...
So, Warriors, I'd say, is what got me into reading in the first place in, like, middle school.
Yep.
Early middle school, I think it was. I read the first 3 series of Warriors. I don't think I finished the 3rd series. I think I got to the 4th or 5th book.
Yeah.
But I figured out what happened at the end. So I was like, I don't even have to read this. So I think it was...
Oh, don't tell me.
Oh, you don't want me to tell you?
Uh-uh.
Okay. Sounds good.
I'm finishing. I'm following through.
All through the 3rd series?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Mark my words. I've never broken a promise.
So I literally figured out, and then I Googled it, and I was right.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, really?
yeah. So I read all those, and I remember it very fondly.
Yep. As you do with
Yeah.
older, some older books maybe that you've read in
Yeah. So
middle school.
for some reason this thought weaseled its head into my mind, like,
Yep.
you're gonna go and reread Warriors.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, me and Ethan, we go to Barnes and
we were
Noble.
heading to Barnes and Noble. We're looking around.
Yeah. And then we can't find Warriors in the young adult section. So we're like, where is it? You know? It says on the website that it's here.
And so Ben sees the
kids section.
the children's section.
The children's book section.
So we head
and
over there.
And then we find
There were actually some
cash
heavy
load.
hitters.
Like what's it called?
Percy Jackson.
Yeah.
The Mother Load.
That's what I meant to say. Motherlode.
Yeah. And there was a lot, not just like children's, but it
Yeah.
really was like they had
Harry Potter.
young adult. They did have some, like, I would consider those young adult.
Mm-hmm.
But it was in the children's section, so whatever.
They had
but there
that
was
one
a lot of
book about the
Warriors.
Nazis.
The Book Thief.
No, it's the one with the girl on the front cover and she's Jewish, and we read it in like 5th grade.
Tyler
4th
Van
grade.
Frank.
No,
The Book Thief. I think you're thinking of.
no, I know exactly what it's like. Blue. It's got gold plating. It's got gold lace around the cover.
No,
It's your name something. I
I
don't
can't
know.
remember.
I'm looking that up.
I don't think
Okay.
I've ever seen that. I don't recognize that.
So Ethan, what's your history with?
Oh, with
Warriors.
I don't have as fond of memories as you, but I do know that I read them in middle school. I don't know if I finished the first. I probably finished the first series. But yeah, I mean it is one of the long, sort of the same thing as we talked actually when we were talking about Warriors, or maybe it was on the last
Number of the Stars.
I've never.
Dude, once I show you this cover, you're gonna be like, yes.
I haven't read it. I guarantee it.
I guarantee once I show you this cover, you're gonna be like, yep.
Okay, maybe I'll recognize it, but I guarantee I haven't read it.
Oh, what? Where is it? Okay.
No.
What?
No.
Number of the Stars.
Nope.
You okay?
No.
Ladies
I'm
and gentlemen,
not
you have caught Ethan on camera fronting.
I'm not just gassing you up. I have
You're
never
not gaslighting
seen
me.
that. Yeah, I've never seen that.
Maybe it was just like a Mr. Vance thing. Then we just
Possible.
read it in his class.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, so your history with Warriors.
I remember Mr. Vance putting Shane Ozenkup in the trash can one
No,
time.
that was Mr.
that was the other one.
That was the guy with the beard.
Dang it.
White beard.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Mr. Vance and Mr. We got a yearbook right here.
Yeah, was that middle school?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, wait, it was in elementary school with him.
Shoot. That's too bad.
Corbin.
Yeah, Corbin. They were
That's kind of messed up.
they were coaches yeah, in track. I remember
Yeah.
them.
No, Mr. Bogner and Mr. Vance.
Oh, Mr. Bogner. Yeah, I remember them.
Yeah.
They rolled in late every day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Warriors. So Ben picks it up. He says, I have to have it.
Yeah. Along with a manga book that I still haven't opened to this
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, manga's it has sort of an allure to it.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But so,
The big ones.
big mangas.
The big ones, yeah.
I tried reading Watchmen the other day, but I couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
Cause like it had the comic book, and then all of a sudden it had like 6 or 7 pages of actual text, and I was like, I don't want to.
That's a turn
I
off.
don't want to.
Yeah.
You know. So I just kind of put it down. But anyway, Warriors. Do you want to just do the plot? I think.
Yeah.
So the plot of Warriors, even more simple than The Notebook, but that's okay. The stakes are a little higher.
This was the book for me that, I guess, Engulfed in Flames was a break, but this was kind of the lull in between books for me as well. It was the simplest. It was kind of the. I don't know. You're right. It's a very simple book. Maybe I'll leave it at that. I won't try to go into more depth. But it was a very simple.
It was
book.
not mentally taxing to read.
Yeah, that's a good way.
So, it's about this cat named Rusty who wants the world in his paw.
Yep.
But he can't get that because he's a kitty pet right now.
Yeah, I hate that that phrase.
Kitty
pet. So stupid.
I think it's awesome.
What? Is it registering that?
I don't know. Hey, folks, you can hear a teddy going AWOL upstairs.
Is it? All right, guys. I'm gonna go take care of something.
Should we pause?
Yeah, you could. Okay, yeah, we're back.
We're back. So, Warriors. Initially I was like, man, I bet I'm gonna read it, and I bet it's just not gonna be that good. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's kind of the fear of reading. You know, a book.
But I read it, and it wasn't that bad. Like, it was just really simple. You know.
Yeah.
It's kind of violent too.
It is a lot more violent. Yeah. So after Ben read it and then let me borrow it, and then I finished it as well. Yeah, and it was good. I mean, it was simple. I don't think that the fear with reading a book that's maybe a little bit that you read when you were a kid, the same thing, just like with maybe experiences that you have, is that it's a little bit, you remember it just being a little bit more grandiose, or a little bit, you enjoyed it a little bit more. And this one, it didn't feel that the same sort of, it made me as epic as it did when I read it as a kid, but it was good. It was like simple. It was right to the point. I enjoyed I enjoyed reading all the plot between the, how many clans are there? 4. Yeah, the 4 clans. I like that.
One of them gone missing though.
Yep, one of them went missing.
I genuinely can't remember where they went.
Yeah, you're gonna have to finish the series.
Yeah.
But following the main character who starts out as like a domesticated cat and then ends up
progress.
Yeah, being trained into the clan, into Thunder Clan. I really like that, and yeah, Ben's right what he said about the violence. Like it is pretty violent for a kid's book.
Yeah, because like people die.
Cats are dying.
Cats die in that book.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of violence. Anyways, I thought it was just final remarks on that book. I thought it was quick. It was such a quick read. I think it was good. It was pretty smooth. The good thing about I think, like you said with the Notebook and stuff, if you have like a shorter book, sort of a young adult book that's written and sort of without a lot of the fat on it.
Yeah.
If it can get sort of cut down, it's a pretty good book, and that's what this Warriors book was for me.
Okay.
So I rated it a 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I said very good.
I think I gave it 4 too.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. All right.
So now you're on to is this your 0.5?
I got another one.
Oh, 3.5, yeah.
This book, I bought it on a whim. It's The Informers by Bret Easton Ellis.
Had you ever heard of that author?
He wrote American Psycho.
Oh, okay.
And Rules of Attraction.
I was wondering if it was like on a whim, as in like you saw it, had no relation to it.
I need to do that more, but
that's a risk. That's a risk.
So, The Informers. It's basically just kind of like a bunch of short stories revolving around this group of people. Like, one of the people's moms. One of them's a lot of them are like in their early 20s in college.
Okay.
There's like their mom. There's a dad chapter. There's like the teenagers themselves, and it's just basically it's
Does
them.
It go back? Is each short story a different person, or is it
yes?
Each short story have
is a different person, and it doesn't really progress any specific story. It's just kind of like what they happen to be doing at that time. Time passes.
I kind of like that idea.
It's a good concept, it's an interesting concept, I'll say, because there's not a lot pushing you forward to read.
Okay.
And that's why I had a problem with Rules of Attraction by Bret Easton Ellis, is because there wasn't really a plot. It was kind of just this stuff happening.
Yeah.
You know, like they get drunk and go to a party. They get sad. They watch MTV.
So not a lot.
Not a lot happens, but it's kind of there's a lot underneath there too. Like there's a lot of tension between the characters, as in like stuff's definitely happened before.
That must be the purpose of the book, then, you think?
Probably to like.
But I'm not saying that's a good purpose. I'm just saying, like, you know, I think a book has to have some sort of, you know, you said purpose, but like something just.
That doesn't necessarily have to be the plot.
No.
Because, half or 3/4 of the way through the book, we get just 2 or 3 chapters about vampires that live in LA, and they're not like in one of the other stories. They're like, yeah, I know this guy that's a vampire. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, what are we doing tonight? And then later, there's the chapters of those vampires, and they're just like going out in the city, like eating people.
Okay, no, wait. When you started that, I was like, it would be funny if not they cut to the actual vampires. That's how it would be well done. But they did do that?
Pretty much. Like, because it's in a chapter. They have a whole chapter about the vampires.
Okay.
That
I like that a lot. Then I like.
Yeah,
that
they
a
just
lot.
mention vampires once. Like, yeah, my friend's a vampire, and then a couple chapters later, it's the vampires.
I love that actually. Which one's that?
The Informers.
That's this one?
By Bret Easton Ellis.
Okay.
Yeah. But then, like the second to last chapter, it goes off the rails in terms of violence.
Really?
Yeah, like it.
I've read You let me borrow American Psycho.
It gets on that level.
And
it gets on that level for one of the chapters.
There is a very, very great difference between the movie American Psycho and the book. One of my roommates got really into American Psycho in the last.
Oh, really? So it's like the whole
yes,
alpha
exactly,
male,
yes,
whatever.
Yes,
Gosh,
imagine that.
That's so stupid.
It's exactly that. There's you're talking about the train, like sort of that train or the a small. I'm not going to use the word movement because that sounds stupid.
Yeah.
But like circulate. Yeah, alpha
fad.
Male fad. The American Psycho fad.
Yeah.
He was on that. That was
on that train.
Happened. Yes.
That's what
so
you're saying,
I
train.
described to him the last few chapters of American Psycho and some of the things that happened. I think that put him off a little bit. And I was like, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
I'm gonna go on a rant.
I'm
here.
glad.
Can I go on a rant?
Yes.
So like, okay, Patrick Bateman.
Yeah.
American Psycho, right? He is open about the fact that he is devoid of all emotion, feeling, everything.
Yeah.
He literally tells you that he's a husk.
Yes.
And people want to be that?
Yeah, I think.
Like, what the heck?
Yes, I think that comes from. I think that is
just because he looks good.
That's part of the fad. Is like that. The movie specifically, him being like, what would you say?
I can do 1,000 crunches a day.
Some weird, his sort of sophisticated,
narcissistic, money,
for some
like
reason that persona is pretty much. I mean, it's kind of brought to life in the movie, and you're like, oh, I enjoy watching that. Yeah. Right, and okay, it's a cool character, but.
Yeah, it's not something you idolize.
Right, not something you idolize, for one. And two, in the book, which what I think of first, because that's what that's kind of
most familiar with.
Familiar with. In that one, it is, you get to hear him tell you, like, he says, it's not something that can be brought up a lot in the movie, because that's not what they focus on, but in the book, he does tell you about, and you can see it, that he's... I mean, there's so many.
Put the lighter in the eyeball.
Lighter, the homeless.
Oh yeah.
Everything. Like if you were to read the book, it's a very different feeling. Yeah. So I don't know if the people I don't know if my roommate can be blamed for. He can't.
He's looking at one part of a very larger picture.
Yeah, I can't blame him for not looking at the book, but. I don't even have to, because I think the fad in itself for the movie is stupid. Yeah. But, so the book is just one way to sort of, I don't know, bring up how stupid it is. Yeah, right?
It's ammunition.
Yeah, that's exactly, there we go.
Yeah.
I love it when you can bring it together.
Tie it together.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. The book is ammunition to shoot down, the abomination that is
Patrick Bateman.
Was Patrick Bateman.
Alpha male stereotypes.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
So the Informers.
Oh, right.
Then the very last chapter kind of hit me a little bit. Man, what was it? It was something like So it's about this girl and her boyfriend that are going to the zoo. That's the whole chapter. They're just hanging out at the zoo. It's kind of implied that they had some issues or whatever. And then out of nowhere, he just turns to her and says, like, I'm an alien or whatever. I'm going to abduct everyone on this planet. It's just a bunch of crazy stuff. Yeah. And then she's just like, okay. And then they just keep on looking at stuff in the zoo. Yeah. And then I was like, man, that's so funny that you could say that, because the way that the whole book was built up, I'm saying it now, the only way to really understand why that makes sense is read the whole book, and you're like, oh, these people are just so morally bankrupt. Like, these people can just say anything, and it doesn't matter. No. Well, I don't know. It doesn't tell you.
I really like... So, did you like all of the... Do you think that the... I have a feeling, at least from what you described and how I'm picturing the book playing out, the moments of, like, the no plot works really well with the concentrated points of plot that you don't get a lot of context for. So, like, the vampires...
Yeah.
Like, maybe that's just... Maybe that's a alone... Maybe there aren't other chapters
like
that are like...
No, it's like a detour, a little detour the book takes.
Yeah. Maybe that's one of the only detours that's like that. But that, like, I feel like the contrast between actual you realizing that the reference from before going into the actual vampires works well with the points of just not really a lot happening. Mm-hmm.
Like, just there's a chapter about this dad and his son. He takes him to Hawaii for a little bit, and then they just like, I don't want to talk to you, Dad. And the dad's like, I just want to be friends with my son. And it's just not working.
Huh.
And it's a pretty dirty book too. Like, it's kind of filthy.
Yeah. Back to your calling.
Yeah, but
what is the rut? Sliding back into the rut.
Sliding back
Warriors
into
and the Notebook were
detours.
A temporary
respite.
Temporary grounded footing, but now Ben's sliding back into his
I'm kind of getting out of there with it. Well, 1Q84, it's got a lot of intercourse in it.
Yeah.
Which is cool. But it's not like in your face kind of. It's just like, it's kind of realistic in the way that things would happen, because like that's a character trait. Like, Aomeme, Are we just transitioning into 1Q84 now, or what?
If you want to, just finish up with your review of
The Informers.
Yep. If that's just your star review, then
yeah, like I think I gave it 4 stars. Is it better than American Psycho?
Oh, that's a good question.
Is it better than Lesson Zero? That's another book by Brady Snells I've read.
Okay.
I think
you've read a lot by him.
I've read 3 books by him now, and I've tried to read a 4th, but it's the no plot is really apparent in that.
That was the death one. That was the
Rules of Attraction.
Rules of Attraction. Oh, okay.
About all the college students.
Yep.
That one's no plot goes way too hard for me.
Okay. But
so Lesson Zero, I'd say is the best, and then depending on the day, American Psycho or Informers would be number 2. Okay. So yeah, I'd recommend it. I'd recommend it as once you've been through a few Brady Snellis books, then read that one. It's not an intro, Brady Snellis. Just like Pulp isn't an intro Bukowski, I'd say. Or Hollywood isn't a intro Bukowski. Okay. So, 1Q84, Aomeme, she likes, like, her type of dude, like, she's really into, like, balding 40-ish-year-old businessmen.
What the heck?
Yeah, that's, like, her thing. And she really likes the shape of their skull. That's like her thing.
That's weird.
Yeah, I know. But yeah. 1Q84. This book is only starting to really ramp up around page 500, but it's not even really ramping up. It's kind of like you can't tell if it's ramping up or not.
Okay.
I'm gonna look up a plot synopsis of book 1.
Okay,
because there's 3 books in here.
I see. Yeah, so this is one Ben's reading now.
1Q84 by Haruki Murakami.
Yeah. Ben has lent me Norwegian Wood a long time ago, at the beginning of the summer. And it's still on my list. I need to figure out what books I'm bringing to school.
Oh, yeah.
I have 2 things. I have books I want to bring to school, and I have board games that I want to bring to school. Both things I want to spend more time doing this school year.
Okay. So. Oh my, it's okay. I feel like I'm about to Pepe Sylvia this. You know what I mean?
Oh, just like try to unlock.
Or no, just like I feel like Pepe Sylvia right now, where it's just there's so much to talk about. There's red lines.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how am I even gonna start to talk about 1Q84? It's okay. So there's two. Have I told you about this book at all?
A little bit. You talked about the little people.
Oh yeah. Okay. So there's two main characters in this book, Tango and Aomeme.
I really like Tango. That's a good
Tango.
name.
Yeah. So Tango's a dude, and Aomeme is a chick. Tango is a writer, right? He's never been published, but he's really talented.
Why hasn't he been published? Does he try to? Does he try to get published?
But he's just never really made it. Anything broke out, really.
Okay.
So he has this editor friend who has this project for him. Like, hey, this girl submitted this story. It's like got a great premise, but it's horribly written, right? So I want you to rewrite it with her permission. So they do. And, see, because once I get ahead in Tango's story, then I start lacking my Aomeme story because they're happening at the same time.
Yeah, which is cool. I think that's sort of a neat thing.
It is. He's done it before in Hard-Boiled Wonderland and the End of the World.
Is it hard to read, or is it? Do you like the format?
Easy. It's so easy to read. It's like never do I have to reread parts. It's very simple. So, anyway, there's a 17-year-old girl named Fuku Eri, I think, who writes a story. I don't really know what the story's about right now, but it's called Air Chrysalis, and there's just little people and like a goat that's somehow involved with little people. I don't know. It's weird. So then they publish it under her name with his new rewriting, and it gets really famous, right? Suddenly, she goes missing. The 17-year-old, right? And she calls up Tango. She's like, hey, I'm safe, but I can't tell you where I am. And then so he's like, what? She's like, yeah. And now the police are starting to investigate, and they don't want him to find out that he's the ghostwriter.
Oh, okay.
So on the side, he's writing this book. And all we know about the book, the project, is that in the world it has 2 moons in it, right? Switch over to Aomeme. She is like this assassin that kills domestic abusers. And her boss is this old lady that she teaches karate to, or whatever. So she kills like 2 dudes, whatever. Up to this point in the book, she's been like, man, I feel like I'm in a different reality. Like, real life doesn't seem like real life. Because she didn't hear about major news events, like this cult shootout. She never heard about it. And also, there's 2 moons in the sky. But they're in the same world as Tango. Aomeme is.
How is that known?
Because they met each other once when they were both 10 years old. Aomeme fell in love with him, and he fell in love with her in just that one instance of like understanding and recognition, because like he validated her or something, right, when they were 10, and she forever like is like imprinted on their hearts that they will be together, but they never saw each other again, right? So
is that written? That's displayed in who's part of the story? Both
of them know about each other, and they're like, I wonder what they look like now. I wonder if they're married. I wonder what they're doing. But they both know that if they see each other. And you don't know anything
about the book?
No, that's the thing. That's a weird part.
It's for sure possible that you're reading his book. You're reading like his book in a more like first person way, right?
Yeah.
And he's like sort of writing his own love interest in a book.
But there's like parallels that are between them both, right? Like the cult is in both stories.
What if he's taking from real life?
That's true. That could be. Man, I'm gonna have to find out.
Because the 2 moons, or just Tango's living in a world with 2 moons.
Yeah, maybe. So Tango, what's he doing right now? Tango.
How many books have you finished out of the? So
There's
how many
3
books
books.
are there? 3 books.
3 books. I'm a quarter of the way through the 2nd book.
Okay. Where are they?
Tokyo.
Yep. Cool.
So basically, where I'm at now, Fukaere is missing. The little people have shown up a few times, like once, and they're very vague. And Aomeme is on her last mission. Like she says, after this mission, she's gonna have to change her name, do plastic surgery, move to a different place. She's gonna try to kill the head member of the cult. Okay. That is Sakigake, I think it's called. That's in both of their stories.
Okay.
There's a lot that's happened.
Yeah. It's a big book.
Yeah. So here's my thing. I was like, I want to read what I want to read. And then I just saw it on the shelf and I was like, that's a book that I want to read in my lifetime. And then I said, why not now?
And here you are.
So I did it, and I'm about halfway done.
Nice.
Yep.
That reminds me of a movie. Do you know the name of the movie? I think I watched it on Netflix. The name of the movie where a guy all of a sudden starts hearing a voice in his head, and his life's like is being narrated before he does stuff.
What is it, Mr. Robot or something? Or Jared Leto?
No, he finds out that his life is being... He exists in the same world as his writer. And so this woman's like writing a novel, but her character exists in the world somehow. Movie. Was it Will Ferrell?
Will Ferrell?
It wasn't a comedy. It wasn't a... It was like sort of a comedy. Maybe a dark comedy. Stranger Than Fiction. It was Will Ferrell.
Really?
A romantic fantasy movie. That is real. That is a really good movie, actually.
Really?
Yeah. It was Will Ferrell. Wow. Maggie Gyllenhaal. Yeah, that's a really good movie. Anyways. Okay, well, my last book is called Rabbit and Robot by Andrew Smith. What are you thinking of?
I'm sorry. I just pulled up the Is He Informers.
Yeah.
Or Goodreads, and it just said whatever the synopsis. And then the first comment, Punto Morto! The Informers, Vite Oltre il Limite, di Gregor Jordan, 2008.
What in the world?
I just thought, Punto Morto! What does that even mean? I'm looking that up.
Yeah, well, Ben gets back to us with a translation. I'll introduce Rabbit and Robot, a book by Andrew Smith. It's
Italian.
Oh.
Here we go.
I guess that's something.
Stand Still.
What? Stand Still.
Punto Morto. Okay. What were you saying, Ethan?
No. Okay, so I've read...
yeah, I want you to walk me through this whole book right now.
So
That's what I want you to do.
I've read one other book by Andrew Smith.
That's such a common name.
2 years ago. It is, kind of.
Yeah.
In a reading class.
Wait,
class.
No. I know the exact name.
Of the class? Or the,
yes,
of the
class. Of the class. Oh. Reading popular literature.
Yes, reading popular literature.
Yes.
So the theme for that year was, like, dystopia.
You read
technology or something.
Big Little Brother.
Little Brother.
Grasshopper Jungle. Which is by Andrew Smith.
1984.
You could have read this one too.
I read Animal Farm.
And
1984 is what, or that class, sorry, is what got me to read 1984 by the same author of Animal Farm. I don't know if
George Orwell.
Yeah, George Orwell.
Yeah. What did you think of 1984?
It was fine.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah, it was another clean. It was
clean.
Pretty clean. That's how I describe Animal Farm as well. Both of them are just clean books. So Grasshopper Jungle, I really enjoyed that book. So I just went ahead and picked up another one of his. And so basically, I mean, so the good points of Grasshopper Jungle, I don't know if I said it last time, but the most interesting thing about Grasshopper Jungle is that it was written by Andrew Smith, all on his lonesome. And after he'd finished...
For himself.
Yes, for himself. After he finished it, he had it packed away, and then one of his kids found it, I believe, and then read it and told him that he had to publish it. So he published it, and I think that is...
it's what you want
something that,
in a book.
That can't be replicated. You know, him genuinely writing something just for himself, or just writing it thinking it's not going to be published. Because there's a big difference between writing something for other people
and just
writing something that yeah. So I thought it was pretty cool they did that. So, one of the high points is what I was going to say. Not only did he I think that because he was able to just write it for himself, or just write it and not expect it to be published, or maybe this is just Andrew Smith. There's a lot of just off the wall stuff, just crazy. I mean, the plot of it is, it's like I forgot how it started, but it's basically these giant praying people are turning into or get turned into giant praying mantises, and the praying mantises start breeding like crazy and eating people, and the world basically just shuts down.
It's like Rick and Morty.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually just Rick and Morty, the novelization. So, anyways, it goes down. It's a post-apocalyptic book, and I thought it was pretty good. So this one has a lot of the same
themes,
off-the-wall stuff, just crazy things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about this kid named Billy, and then his friend Kager. And so they live. I don't think it's actually specified what year they live in, but they live in a future Earth where wars are happening constantly, and there's basically only two
factions.
No, there are only two occupations that people can go into.
That's right, like Kurt Vonnegut.
They can either be piano.
Military or...
What's the other one for his?
I think there's actually 3 in Kurt Vonnegut's. I know one of them's a military. The other one might be just like... I'm going to look it up. Keep talking.
All right, well, one of them is... yeah, that's exactly right. So the name of the book, Rabbit and Robot. Rabbits are soldiers, or bonks, they call them. So they're people who just go off and fight wars, because there's tons and tons. Something that's kind of just... Oh, both of them are very, like, comedic books. They're funny books. So there's constant wars. They're like, at one point at the point the book's taking place, there was 20-something wars taking place on Earth. And then the robots are basically students who go in, they take this drug called WAS, and it basically, it's like a psychedelic, but if you you take it before school, and then you watch, basically just videos that essentially like
brainwash you.
They basically just kind of take out. They just optimize your brain for coding.
Okay.
And stuff. And so Rabbit and Robot. So it's this, but it's a drug. WAS is a drug, so it's addictive, and psychedelic a little bit. So you can crush it, you can snort it, smoke it. And so this kid Kager is addicted to WAS. So then Billy, and so they're both. The thing is that Kager and Billy are both really like super rich.
Yep.
Like one of their dads is the owner of these giant lunar cruise ships, basically, and then the other one is the creator of the TV show Rabbit and Robot, which is the show that people watch after they take WAS in school to sort of hone their brains for coding. And so they're like uber rich, like their parents don't allow them to interact with sort of the outside world, normal world, and
proletariat.
They pay for friends and like groups of friends to come and talk with them, basically. And so then Billy's like, well, we got to get Kager off this WAS. And so they steal him, and I believe Rowan is their third friend's name, but he's kind of like a caretaker for Kager, and he has been for his entire life. But he's around the same, he's just a little bit older. And so then they decide, Billy and Rowan decide to take Kager up to into this cruise ship, lunar cruise ship, and basically travel to the moon. And so they can get him off this stuff. And so then they get there, and something happens and then there's cogs, which are also created by by Billy's dad. They're basically just really, really smart AI.
Are they like physical?
They're physical.
Okay.
They're robots.
Okay.
In the shape of humans, and they're called cogs.
Oh,
so they do manual labor and stuff like that. So,
but they're really smart.
Super smart. They're like robots. They're just artificial intelligence. They're not super smart, and that's that's one of the things in the book. But the robots do tasks, and so something happens when they're on. It's kind of fun. It kind of reminded me of Good Omens, where they will kind of jump to something funny and describe it really well, but then never mention it again in the book. So something that happened was as they were up in space, Earth basically just completely imploded on itself, from war and stuff, because like Israel or something was they developed cogs that could go around and kind of turn back in and write code.
Mm-hmm.
So cogs would make cogs.
Oh.
And so then Israel was like, we're gonna stop exporting cogs now that we have this technology. I think they were trying to like make a monopoly on it, right? They didn't need sort of the importing, exporting. So then America wasn't happy with that, and neither was a lot of other places. So then another war, the final war started, and so it basically just destroyed the Earth.
Dang.
From that little encounter. So then they don't have a way back to Earth. They're alone. They're the only two humans because everyone else was on Earth. They had recalled some of the other cruise ships, the lunar cruise ships. That's why there was no one else on there. So they're in a cruise ship filled with cogs, basically, to take care of it. And so they're on the Tennessee is what the ship was called. The Kansas was just a funny side note that they mentioned. Had all the plumbing and everything in the ship had started to, what is it called? Everything had basically backed up forcefully. So all the sewage had come back up through all of the plumbing in that ship. So everyone got sick, and a bunch of people died. So after they unloaded it, they just, instead of cleaning it up, they ran it into the sun to destroy it. Basically, so they're trying to figure this out on the ship, and then these aliens from another world basically come on, and they dock into the ship, and they explain they're kind of the creators. So the precursors. They visited, they're talking with Billy and Kager, and then they said that they released this worm onto the ship after they visited that infects the cogs and make them eat other cogs. Billy, it's interesting because Billy and Kager, that Billy and Kager are always safe. So that's not, even though there's like sort of a zombie thing happening with the cogs, Billy and Kager are always safe. So there's in like a zombie book, you're like, the human character's always going to be in danger, right? Because the zombie's going to be looking for him. In this situation, it was kind of like comforting almost, because there were like cogs were eating cogs all over the place, but Billy and Kager were always safe, which was weird. But then you find out that there's two girl humans on the ship. Cogs are eating the cogs. They're trying to kind of figure everything out. So it's off the wall. They end up deciding whether or not they want to go back to Earth in like these lifeboats and stuff. So all that, that's sort of a condensed version. So I liked all the off the wall stuff because I like all
how does it end?
The plot's shifting. They end up all going back to Earth in lifeboats. Yeah. And so they stopped the worm from destroying all the cogs because those aliens that came back, they released the worm because they were getting too close to they were basically just stopping innovation. The aliens, they were getting too close to something.
To singularity.
To something. So then they kind of cut it off with the worm, but Billy and they were able to stop it. So then cogs continue to make cogs. In the end, that's saved, and then they head back to Earth. And so I really liked the book, but I gave it a 3 just because of the potty humor.
You didn't like it?
I know. There was so much mention of... Because one of the things was that all the cogs had one defining emotion, and that's all they had. So, one person would be super angry. Like, the captain of the ship, the Tennessee, was always screaming, and, he was infuriated whenever anyone did anything. Or others where the bellboy was sad all the time. And every single cog was like that.
Dang. One of them was...
And one of them was overly excited, and it kept describing how she was... it said the word fart so many times.
Yeah.
She would just get excited and
you'll find that word
fart.
You'll find that word fart just randomly in books you wouldn't expect it to be in.
It's so off-putting.
Really?
I hate the word fart. And so that was the only thing from this book that I didn't like was the potty humor, and it legitimately took it down a full star.
Wow.
Just because it's why I was not amused.
Not funny.
Literally, everything else was funny and I enjoyed it, and then it's just that. Like it's weak. It can't even be written.
It's lowbrow.
It can't be written like well.
Yeah.
And I don't even think that's pretentious. Far's just not funny. So yeah. Anyways, it was a sort of a brief overview of that book.
Yeah.
Sort of.
How long did that take you to read?
Not long. 2 days.
Really? That's it?
It's.
Here, let me see the pages. Oh, that's not too bad.
It's good. It's a pretty comfortable read. Yeah. So that was Rabbit and Robot. 3 stars for me. Andrew Smith.
I thought about this. If I were to write a romance book, like a literary romance book,
yeah,
what would I have to do to take it out of the dregs of, romance novels, like the tropes and stuff?
That reminded me. Sorry, really quickly.
Yeah.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful example.
Mm-hmm.
Rabbit and Robot of how to do explanation of the characters' backstories.
Mm-hmm.
And the situation that they're in and the world that they're in.
Yeah, what we got?
Not straightforward and not bluntly. The world, like, you figured out who his parents were, what was happening with the wars on Earth, the technology. Not in the first, few pages or even the first several chapters.
Mm-hmm.
But you figure it out over the course of the book in normal conversations between the characters. That is a beautiful way of doing it.
Yeah, really seamless.
Seamless, yeah. You learn about the story or the backstory of some of these people and the technology and the world that you're reading about over the course of probably 3/4 of the book.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way of doing it. All right, back to you.
Yeah.
Getting it out of the...
What would we have to do to write a romance novel that breaks the mold of the romance novel?
A good setting, I think. I don't feel like romance in my head. I don't think Harlequin novels.
Harlequin novels.
Yeah, that's what they're called.
Really?
I don't know if that's a series.
Should I look that up?
Yeah, could you look it up? Harlequin. I don't know if that's a general word to describe like those cheap romance novels, or if it's a series or a genre. That's how I've heard them. I've heard them called that a few times.
Why is it called Harlequin?
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's the question on Google.
Oh.
Oh. So. Okay, so Harlequin was the name of the company.
Okay.
And this is going to be kind of hard to define, but Harlequin then began a reader service selling directly to readers who agreed to purchase a certain number of books each month, right? So that's the thing with romances, is that they're like consumable, right?
Yeah.
Very consumable.
Okay.
So they're very non-differential as well, right? They can be swapped back and forth.
Okay, right.
So that goes along with them selling in this many per month. They're going to sell this many per month, right? So
they're able to put them out at that speed.
Yes.
That's the big thing.
Oh my gosh. Early years, romance wars, international expansion, class action lawsuit.
Whoa. That's on the Wikipedia?
Yeah. List of Harlequin romance novels.
Bet there's a lot.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's 1949 through 2018.
Wow.
You remember? I know something we can do right now to end this thing out.
What?
Remember when we made up an impromptu science fiction?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Novel? We
should took a whole episode.
Yeah. All right, so impromptu romance novel.
Back to this impromptu. Yeah, exactly.
Here we go. Okay, so you said setting.
Yeah.
You said an interesting setting.
I think setting is pretty important.
Yeah.
And what are classic ones?
The South.
South. Ooh, that's a good point.
Because that's like a whole genre.
Isn't that such a weird mashup?
That is.
Cowboys, a cowboy romance.
I just watched today that Tom Segura cowboy bit Remember that one?
Mm-mm.
It's like you adopt the like people dress up like cowboys.
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
Like you adopt the persona.
Yep.
Like, howdy y'all.
Yeah, I remember that actually.
Okay, so cowboys.
Yeah, so let's not
go down that route.
Right. Yeah. Another thing that's done a lot is, I'm assuming Europe. Europe's done a lot.
Yeah, that seems like a whole trope. Like, oh, I'm going to Europe.
Yeah. Is there some way we could put a spin on that?
What if? Okay, how about this? 2 researchers in the Antarctic.
Okay. I like it.
Or a group of researchers in the Antarctic.
Okay. I like it.
Then we got the polyamorous thing going on there. No, I'm just kidding. That'd be... Whoa.
That'd be interesting.
What if we
That's
did
definitely not something...
That's something new there.
That's quite the spin.
But I don't feel like I have the chops to write something or cover that.
Polyamorous.
Because I don't know enough about that.
No, neither do I.
Because I don't know enough about it to say that it's not a good idea. Because like when I think about it, it's like there's going to be some tension.
Right.
That, at least from the way I look at it. But then you
Right.
got to look at like, what if there wasn't tension and it's just like an agreement?
And we don't have experience.
Yeah, and we don't have experience, so how can we know? So should we just stick to the classic?
Let's stick to the classic. Let's try to...
But there's more than just them at the place.
Okay, I agree. Okay, so they're researchers in the Antarctic. So it's cold. Let's think. And there's always so much to... when we were doing the sci-fi novel, it's trying to think of... All we had to do was make the world interesting, right? Because that's kind of the point of
sci-fi. Should we look up romance tropes?
Yeah, romance tropes. But this is tough because we really have to focus... Smack, the character of our last novel.
Oh, yeah.
He really was just having conflict with his enemies, the government he was trying to...
he was trying to rebel against.
Yeah, rebel. Now we're trying to... It's like the opposite. Violence is easy to do.
Yeah,
romance,
that's because it's such an easy conflict.
Yeah.
Because it's like, boom, instant.
Yeah, exactly.
But how do you write conflict in a romance? That's the question.
Yeah, how do we form a connection between these two characters? Romance tropes.
I'm looking it up right now.
First impressions is a trope, for sure. Like seeing each other, like love at first sight, that's a trope. What can we do with that?
Love at first sight?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Should we try to... How should we do this? Should we write...
What's their jobs?
Should we think of... Okay.
Let's come up with the two characters themselves.
Let's fill out these two characters.
So let's start with the dude.
Yeah.
He's just like a normal...
Michael comes to mind.
Michael Scott?
No.
Wait, which Michael? Let's give him a fun name. How about...
Why does it have to be a Michael that already exists?
I don't know.
Which Michael? Why do we have to...
Okay. So what is a flaw that he has?
A flaw?
Michael's flaw. How about Mikey? We call him Mikey.
Is his actual name Michael?
Should it be?
I don't know. Mikey? We can call him Mikey. I don't...
Matt.
That's a pretty bland name. Do we want bland names? We should have them from different countries. We should have the language barrier be up. They have to fall in love through their translators. Oh, and their translators fall in love.
Oh my god.
That is such a good idea.
Oh jeez, you have 2 love stories going at once.
That's awesome. She was from
China.
She was from China. He was from another... He was from...
Georgia.
Ooh, no.
Like the African country of Georgia.
Yeah, let's have him be from an African country.
How about just Egypt?
Egypt?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there somewhere... Let's have her be from somewhere cold in China. There's a cold place in China.
Himalayas.
Right? Yeah.
Nepal. Let's have her be from Nepal.
Is that in China?
I think so. It's like bordering China.
Okay, let's have her be from Nepal.
Okay.
And he's from Egypt. I like this. And so, something that we could have like a little...
Are we still sticking with the research theme?
I love it. I love the research theme.
Okay, Antarctica or North Pole? Antarctica, I think.
Antarctica. Yeah, let's go with that.
Wait. Which one has more penguins?
I don't know, but we definitely have to. We have to have penguins in it.
Yeah, that would be the comic relief.
Yeah, comic relief. That's good. And then something in the story that can be like she's used to the cold, but he isn't. So there's sort of some cute moments where he's shivering and she's like,
"You want my coat?" And he's like, "No, if you took that coat off, you'd literally die."
That's so good. Yeah, let's have that. That'll be a lot. Like, that'll be something. Yeah, she offers him his coat, or her coat.
Okay, so he's from Egypt. She's from Nepal.
Yeah.
What is a flaw they both have, or what's one flaw they have? She doesn't actually.
She has limited nerve endings throughout her whole body, so she can't feel pain a lot.
Okay.
So she can put herself in danger.
And I got one for him.
She's also
too.
clumsy. She drops stuff. What's one?
For the dude,
yeah.
How would his flaw is that he's not actually a scientist. He's just like lied and like just made his way here.
Whoa.
Like on accident.
Whoa.
And people think he's a world-renowned scientist.
So did he end up here on accident and then sort of try to cover?
Yeah, but no,
cover his bases, or is he here for like a nefarious reason?
Ooh, we should have that.
Like, is he gonna try to steal something and then he's turned good by this little Napoleon woman?
Nepalese? Is that how you say
I like Nepalese better, yeah.
Napoleon?
I don't like Napoleon.
I think it's Nepalese. I don't know. But,
yeah, I like that. Or maybe she's a researcher and he is like an intern.
He's like a man that's lived with the penguins for, like Tarzan.
No, an Egyptian man living in Antarctica.
It's like, how'd you get here? He's like, pyramids.
No, that's been done before.
Yeah.
That's a trope. The Tarzan trope, where someone falls in love with someone who's...
It's like the alpha male in the woods trope or whatever. I just read it on here.
Oh.
Should we just find a trope and turn it on its head?
I like where we're going.
Okay.
We can find, if we want to find a trope and work off of it or work against it in the book, but I like where we're headed. Does it open with them? Yeah, so it's opening. The book kind of starts
on the boat ride there.
Or it introduces them in their home places. So that way we get some flavor from Egypt and Nepal.
Okay. So on the boat real quick though.
Yeah.
He like sees her and he's like, you ever seen Titanic? And she's like, what? And he goes, here, follow me. They go to the front of the ship. And then he does the
thing.
I'm the king of the world thing.
That's pretty bad.
What if we made this the worst novel of all time?
We could. It's definitely possible. I like to think something good could come out of this, though.
Okay, let's do that track then. So she's in Nepal.
Yeah, he's in Egypt.
She gives tours of the mountain.
Oh, okay, good.
She's of Mount Everest.
Yeah, that's good. And he is a grave robber.
Whoa.
That's pretty.
And they're
cool.
both scientists too now.
And they're both scientists. Yeah, he uses his. I mean, he could try to fake it. He could try to fake being a scientist. Like, he uses it as cover, but gets in too deep.
Or he's trying to escape with a body or something, and then he's running from the authorities.
Yeah.
And then he steps on the wrong wrong plane or whatever.
I love that. Love that. So I think that's a definite. But
okay.
How do we paint him as not? I don't want it to be like the worst guy and the best girl like fall in love. Something like that. Maybe... I want him to be like enough. He's grave robbing.
Mm-hmm.
He's running away with a body, but I want him to be sort of like it's lighthearted.
He steals bodies from the rich and give them to the poor.
No, not that kind of Anyway, how about let's just say, since we're that how it'll be written lighthearted, or just this is a side, this is a tack. This is a kind of tack in his character, is that he's not like a super bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
it's funny that he's a grave robber.
Brother's got to make money.
Yeah,
somehow.
He's got to make money. He's an otherwise good guy,
Ooh.
He's charismatic.
Just bump the mic. Okay, and what's his name again?
I don't think we have names for either.
I don't think we've named either of them.
And I feel like we have to.
Her name is.
I don't know any name. I don't know any.
Nepalese names.
Yeah, dang it.
How about we
how
call
are we gonna
her?
do this?
I can
naming
look
stuff.
Nepalese, Nepal
I'll look up his
names. Okay.
Common Egyptian names, male.
Devna. Ram. Milan. Hina. Alina. Sajit. That's a boy's name.
Sajit. I like these names.
Where are they?
I don't know, just all of them. Kind of slap. Donkar, Hagar, Hanbal, Hamidi, Horus, Jabari.
Dreedy.
Oh, I like. Do you like that?
What?
Jabari.
Yeah,
For the
Jabari.
guy.
Jabari, and her name is
Yeah, I like that. Jabari. Kind of rolls off the tongue. I may name my firstborn that.
Gavia.
Gavia.
Yeah. Garden of God. That's what it means.
Ooh.
Gavia.
Gavia.
No, I want it to be a J name too. It'd be funny.
What was his?
I think there is none. Queena.
Jabari.
Lopika. Lubanya.
Labania.
Leniksha. Sanani. Saudis.
I feel like that's a Jabari. What would a name go well? I feel like you would, if you see a name that clicks, you would see a name that clicks with Jabari.
Jabari. Unyat. Yana.
Jabari and
Yana.
Yana. Jabari and Yana. That's not bad.
All right. So Jabari, he's stealing a body.
Yeah. Comedically.
Comedically.
So he ends up on the wrong flight. Lo and behold, it takes him straight to a research center in Antarctica. It lands there. It's a private plane.
Whoa.
He runs up. He runs up. He doesn't run out into the terminal.
Mm-hmm.
He's he runs and out onto the track, or the what do you call that?
Strip?
Where they take off. Yeah, the strip. But not the main one. He gets in where all the private planes are.
Yeah.
So one of them is started up, and this guy is about to get on. The actual person who's supposed to, the researcher, another researcher.
Yeah.
And he essentially takes his place. He he shoves the researcher out of the way, gets in the plane, and then tells go. And then the plane takes off, and he's on his way directly to Antarctica.
Okay, so what else do we need to finish up this story then?
Well, I mean, we've only kind of started it, but
what are
let's
the what I mean to
let's
say is what are the points that we need to mark off here?
Okay, so let's just get so Yana, takes the traditional route because she's an actual researcher, so she flies there, boats there, or whatever. And then you're right. What are some key points that we can hit on? So they meet. He's stuck there. He's kind of infuriated.
Man. Yeah. What does she think about the grave robbing?
The grave robbing?
Yeah.
Okay, so is this after? Is this when she's finding out about him?
Does she? Oh, she thinks he's a scientist.
Right, I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Either that, there's two routes for that.
And he goes fully into it. He's like, yeah, I'm a scientist.
Yeah, exactly. So he could say that. He's a scientist. Maybe he brought the body now the body's frozen, so he's examining the body, quote unquote. I don't know. They can meet. I do like the language barrier idea.
They can't even talk to each other.
Yeah, they can't talk to each other. Maybe that's the twist. That's the gimmick on the book. Is that
and it's like a political movie. So they got an agenda.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What's this movie? What's this called? What's this called?
I think that's the most important part. That's pretty much the only thing that matters. We don't have to flesh out the story. I say let's give it a. We have a beginning. Let's give it a title and an end, and I think we're good.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got Jabari, right? I always forget his name.
Jabari
and Yana. Okay, well.
Ice cold.
Other than their ice cold, ice
lover.
Love.
Ice cold lover.
It has to be. It has to be a play on. It has to be like an alliteration, I think, or alliteration.
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 Yeah.
So like, Amor and La Antarctic. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, okay.
They start with the same.
Antarctic.
Love.
Snow.
Snuggle.
Snow snugglers.
I don't like that at all.
I love it. Snow snugglers.
No. Because that that's a bad title. It doesn't really explain the scope of
grave robber into house.
That's pretty bad. Also, that may be worse than snow snugglers. Dang it! You know, it has to be witty. It has to be a statement on their situation.
What's
the comedy of it or their love?
Love Actually.
Love Actually 2. It's a an unofficial sequel.
Yeah, to Love Actually.
Yeah.
Who's in that?
I don't know, but it's the same director as About Time.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yep. Great movie.
That's a good movie. They both go down with the boat. That's how it ends. And there's only
like
one
it's leaving the
board.
research center?
Yeah. There's only one door, and then there's only room for one of them on there.
They accidentally discover, like, a...
alien civilization?
Yeah. Or, like, a big beast that they wake up. And so it doesn't go into... They basically just discover it, and then it starts waking up, and as they leave, it rears up, and one of them's not on the boat, and all the ice and the water and stuff on land just... And so the boat gets kind of... taken over by water, but the person who's on the ground definitely dies.
Swept, yeah.
And it should be the girl.
Ooh, this time switched around.
Because the... You know, how the thing... She definitely deserves to live more.
Mm-hmm.
But she, taught him a lesson.
That he'll never forget.
That he'll never forget. Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
I like that ending. We have to have a... Dang it. The title is just so hard to nail.
Feet! Exclamation point.
Why?
He has a foot fetish.
Oh, come on.
We throw that curveball in there. He only grave robs feet.
He only grave robs feet?
Yeah.
So he only takes,
the mummy's feet?
Like toe rings?
Yeah.
Why does he do that?
I don't know. Why does...
That's not our problem. All right. Feet! Exclamation point.
Or how about, the key to my heart lies at the bottom of this sarcophagus.
Okay. I like feet.
Okay. You do?
Feet, exclamation point.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting twist. He only takes the feet of mummies.
Yeah.
For what reason? Like,
He likes
like
it.
something... something like something wrong. When someone's doing something weird in like a movie or book, there's always some
explanation.
It's always vindictive.
Yeah.
So someone like chopped off like his feet, like he has fake feet.
Yeah.
But why would he be trying to get back at mummies?
Because there's a mummy that
he was cursed. He was cursed by these ancient Egyptian families.
Whoa.
Everyone's in his own family is born without feet, and they have to get sick prosthetics.
Nice. They got like, I watched Tiger King recently.
Yeah.
It's like, the guy with the prosthetic legs got like Joker on him.
Yeah.
He's got like that.
That'd be pretty awesome.
Joker.
Yeah.
And then like Yana is like, I like your prosthetics. He's like, thanks. And then he shows it to him and he says, why so serious on it? He's like, isn't that cool? She's like, wow, that's so awesome.
All right. I like that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it has been 2 hours and I'm ready to play some board games.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you guys don't get to
see that.
Join us, but
yeah.
That's what we're going to be doing.
Bye.
All right. Thank you No. We have to be more formal than that.
Ah, yes.
All right, goodbye, everybody. Not that formal, not that formal, not that formal, not that formal, not that formal. All right, everybody. This is the second half of our bookcast. We hope to get together again soon. Yeah, and talk about things that have been going on and things that we're thinking.
Yep.
All right.
You have a good one.
See you guys later. Good night, Ben.
Good night, Ethan.